And so our story begins with the two characters, Hester and Dimmesdale, and their despicable act of adultery. Let us go outside to take a look into the world which these two detestable moral creatures live in. As we enter the world of our two characters, we find Hester, a married woman, destroying her morality with a holy man through the act of adultery. What will happen next?
That was so worth it. I don't care what other people think.
I agree.
Every conceivable sexual act is despicable, besides intercourse between a married man and woman. And that is why we see on my chart, Dimmesdale and Hester are at the lowest bowels of morality. They're despicable people. Let's hope we can see them change as we move on further in the story. As Hester is vilified by the town, she is put on a scaffold and made fun of in front of everybody. As Dimmesdale looks down upon her, he cries out to her to reveal him, to better himself, his own morality. Although he's pressured by society, as he says in his speech, he's actually doing it for himself, because it's his own agony that he's going through, and he wishes to escape the agony, and that's why he's giving this speech, for himself, to better himself, which I agree with. Unfortunately for Hester, she chooses to stay a despicable person and denies Dimmesdale the respect he deserves to become a better person by revealing him to the town. Although she thinks she is doing it for his own protection, she doesn't have the right to make that decision for him. It's Dimmesdale's life. Dimmesdale should be allowed to better himself, and Hester denies him the respect he deserves. As Hester is slut-shamed by the town on her pedestal of shame, Dimmesdale cries out to her to reveal thy fellow sinner, which is actually him, but only Hester knows that. This is a moral step for Dimmesdale, as he's seeking to better himself. Let's see what happens.
If thou feelest it to be for thy soul's peace, I charge thee to speak out the name of thy fellow sinner and fellow sufferer. Be not silent!
Yet Hester is silent. Alright, as we see in chapter 3, Dimmesdale calls out to Hester to reveal him as the father of Pearl, to reveal his sin in order to better himself. Society is pressuring him to reveal himself, but they actually aren't, because they don't know he's the father. He's the only one who knows he's the father, and he's the only one who can better himself. Society isn't pressuring him to do anything. They don't know he's the father. I'm all about self-betterment, and I think that all actions should be about your own morality, and they should not be about anything else, society's judgment. You define your own morality, and you define who you are as a person. And Dimmesdale, he's trying to make himself a better person through this speech. So that's why I raised his morality. I think it goes up. Hester, on the other hand, Hester denies Dimmesdale this right to better himself. Hester prevents him from going through that positive change to reinforce the morality he had before the treacherous act of adultery. Hester isn't respecting Dimmesdale's right to better himself. And that's why Hester stays low, because she's disrespecting Dimmesdale, and she's disrespecting human rights.
On page 63, Dimmesdale says, "Speak and give your father a child." Hester says, "I will not speak."
As our story progresses, everyone's favorite adulteress, Hester, confesses to her husband, Chillingworth, who she betrayed, that she has wronged him.
I have wronged thee.
We have wronged you, children.
Return to the graph. We see Hester's morality increase because of the confession to Chillingsworth. Because I believe that admission that there is a problem is the first step to recovery, and the first step to self-redemption, and an increase in morality as a result. As Hester admits that she's done something wrong, she starts the first step in improving herself. This is a moral action.
Therefore, raising her morality.
As Pearl grows up fatherless, she becomes an evil child. Dimmesdale's been denying her the love she deserves for a very long time. But in chapter 8, he starts to show some of that love and the respect that child deserves. The minister looked round, laid his hand on the child's head, hesitated an instant, and then kissed her little brow. Here we see the first act of affection from Dimmesdale to Pearl. This is an increase